Well, I don't know what be going on these last couple of times. That it just, I've been talking good about YouTube and it just been shutting down on my live the last couple of times. Let's see. Okay. So Recitessa, look. All I got is Recitessa. Shout out to Ringo TV. Y'all go check out Ringo TV. Y'all go check out O'Shea Duke Jackson. Um, she said from the beginning that she studied psychology. So she should have known that he was a pathological liar. That's why my first question is, how long did you know him? So I'm not coming up here to defend that nothing that she said is true. I'm not going to say nothing she said is true about that man. But how long did you know him? Because you made the choices all the way across the board. I don't know how long you knew him. I don't know where he is. I want to say, I kept hearing Ringo say he was in a studio before you moved him into your space. But you all where I opened up my ears really is when I heard you say we was quarantining together. You invited him into your house to quarantine together. You who were living paycheck to paycheck invited him into your house to quarantine together, and you were living paycheck to paycheck, and then he came into your house and started paying all your bills. So that meant that you weren't living paycheck to paycheck anymore, because now you have a man that's paying all your bills. And you went on to say later that they wasn't a lie. Your bills wasn't a lot, but he was paying them all, which means that your money was free, baby. You ain't never talk about that, and I'm going to have to do this Ringo on you. You never talked about anything that you did for that man. You never talked about any of that. Never talked about anything that you did for that man. You just talked about what you thought and what you felt. And how you knew you were wrong, but you kept going anyway. A willing participant. You knew you were wrong, but you kept going anyway. You had about 25 parts before you even got married, and you was up there doing, you brought God into this, ma'am. You brought God into this, Miss Russetessa. So let's talk God in this. Because Ringo TV said, maybe, just maybe. Because we always walking around talking about somebody that might use some profane language when we be walking around cursing all the time and don't even be knowing. Ressa, maybe you didn't know that your words are powerful, but you kept saying, I can't have no baby here. I can't have no baby here. I kept telling him, I can't have no baby here. And there was no baby there. You spoke that thing out your mouth. You called those things that were not as though they were, because you felt like if I keep pressuring him like that, he gonna go get a house, even though he paying all the bills at your house. Whatever job he was on, I don't care if he was driving a forklift, I don't care if he was working at Apple. By the way, Ringo TV, there are those companies that are Apple contracted. So they're not getting paid like Apple is getting paid. Even if they getting paid a little bit of change, they're not getting paid like Apple is getting paid. But I don't care if he is the, what was the other one he was working at? I forget, but it was 3 different jobs. One was the forklift, one was the Apple, and one was the job that he was at before he got the Apple, because that's the one she was saying he got fired from. I forget what that job was. But in all those jobs, he paid your bills. When y'all finally got married and went through all this stuff, you said you weren't divorcing him because you found out he was cheating. But that's when everything started going awry is all I'm saying. And my whole thing is you ain't said nothing about him cheating until after you got married. You done forced him. Let me tell you something about force. It's never a good thing. It's never a good thing. You were forcing all the way. You wasn't just letting nothing happen. You was trying to make things happen in your time and in your way. And I have to agree with Ringo on this as well. I ain't agree with him on everything. But I have to agree with him on the fact that everybody you talk, everything worked in your favor. Just like I said, I ain't saying this man can't be guilty of nothing. Everything worked in your favor. Everybody you talked to was totally against him and not against you. But I just want the folk that's out here listening to you to just listen to you. Listen. Because if you listen, you're going to hear how you was totally out of order because you knew you was wrong for all of this. You don't we ain't got you done did everything. He got the milk. He got the milk. And he still went and bought the cow. But he had the milk already. And you were forcing everything up until then. And you continued to force even after he got the cow. You wanted to see bank records, but he couldn't say anything about your clothing. You wanted him to conform to everything that you wanted him to be, and you wanted to keep being Tessa. Now, you wanted to talk about his mental illness and his narcissism and all that stuff like that, but something had to go down during COVID because you couldn't even stay up to do your work from home. But then he becomes broke and emaciated and a beggar because he's asking you for money when you said that all that you had spent on him was the $5 or $6 to buy him some chicken nuggets and he was paying your bills for. How long was y'all together? Because I don't remember hearing that. How long was he paying your bills in that house, girl? Even though y'all went looking for 1 million houses because you was falling for okie dokes over and over again and saying, I know that I'm wrong. I know this going to make me look bad. It do. Because you kept making choices. And then you needed his family to break down to you everything that you said. And, you said that God had sent him to change that tire because he was your savior. God had sent him. Then you went from God sending him to change your tire to God blew the tire so that I wouldn't go on the date. God is not the author of confusion, baby. God is not the author of confusion. Now somebody said to me, God don't take that long. Now I won't trying to confuse God when I was waiting on this Mary Kay. I just said, God, I don't know if this you or this me. I feel like it's you because I don't want to do it. That won't me trying to make God the author of confusion. Sometimes you just have to leave people out of your stuff so that you can hear from God. That's all I was saying about that prophetess Deshaya Swan. There's so many men walking around. Can you really hear God when God is sending the right one? If there is so many men that you saying on to the next, on to the next, on to the next, on to the next one. That's all that I be asking. That's all I be asking. You said that the Holy Spirit was in it when he told you to go look at that other house. So you go back and forth from God being in it to God not being in it. From God telling you that this is all good to God telling you that you shouldn't have went on the date at all. That is not how God works. Why you bring God into that? Stop trying to sell us, trying to give us the potatoes. God don't got nothing to do with that. God don't got nothing to do with that. You cannot take God where we cannot take God where we want God to go. We can't do that. We cannot, Dawn. We cannot. You said God said don't marry him in the first place, but you married him. You married him. You said your mama didn't know about the issues. She said her mama didn't know about the issues. But before your mama came, to me, what you said made me feel like you was prompting her to feel like there was some issues. You then went on to say she said she felt like something, but if she felt like something, it was because when she came, you told her he's probably gonna talk about his money and his and houses, but ignore that. Would that not is that not a seed planted? Change the subject. That's a seed planted. So why wouldn't she be feeling the way if that's what you brought her into? You know, into the marriage, that this your marriage, so you got to work it out like your aunt told you, that marriage that you wanted because you felt like it was the right thing to do and you believed that you were doing right. All of them lives that he might have had. How long did y'all know each other? That emaciated and that broke and he asking you for a loan. I feel like he was deserving of a loan for you. He paid your bills for however long that y'all was in that house together until y'all got divorced. He was paying your bill. It was not one time, you say he got fired from the one job, but it was not one time that I heard you say that he was not working, but you went to, I guess the need, maybe the need put him out of work? I'm just asking. So, my whole thing is, it's millions of views. Ringo TV is like it's millions of views, and she does a lot of contradicting herself if you are just watching it without getting your emotions involved. When you are watching things with the thought process of, okay, I feel, like I said, I just came up here, I told y'all it was a struggle. It was a real struggle. I was struggling before last weekend. I was going through some things. And just because somebody come up here and they be going through some things and they know what it is to struggle, I never want you to condone that I don't handle my business. I ain't come live at all last week. What I don't do, I have to stand accountable for. I'm never gonna come up here and tell a story because it sounded like a story where she's trying to get sympathy. Rolling Stone got an article about it. I guess it's supposed to be a Lifetime movie. I would never watch it. Yeah, I just sat and watched Ringo for 11 hours over this past weekend. Over the weekend. I could not watch it all at once. And he did have some people that watched that whole 11 hours at one time. But I wouldn't, I just sat down and watched him run a live for 11 hours, but I wouldn't watch that Lifetime movie. Because it really just seems like for sympathy and emotion. Ringo thinks that she is an agent that is planted, and I want to say y'all might want to start listening to some of that stuff. If I talked about the food the other day, that's the agent of change. You know, the wise food. There are agents of chaos as well. People that'll take a bag to come out here and stir up some confusion. Hello, beautiful. Today, we done talked about that flattery. That flattery will get you nowhere even when it says that it'll get you everywhere, beautiful. Today we done talked about the prophet saying if somebody is flattering you, if somebody is excessively praising you, throw some dirt in their face, beautiful. You best go and throw that dirt in their face and don't let them folks be out here trying to make you delusional, beautiful. Sylvie love you. And she is out. Where am I out at? Where is my stuff? Oh,